Hello all you fabulous YouTubers, welcome to my channel. I am Darlene and I'm going to do a reading for you today on a deceased loved one or ancestor as the title implied. And my business, let me get this out of the way. Oops, okay, hold on, sorry, too many. While I'm shuffling is thank you so much for being here. I value your time very, very much. We're all busy people. And I appreciate your watching my video. Also, if you like this kind of content, please hit the like button and subscribe. It means a lot to me. I'm just getting started here on YouTube, and it helps to grow my channel. But also, and more importantly, it helps the YouTube algorithm recognize, hey, somebody likes this content. Let's show it to more people. So it pushes the video out to a broader audience, and therefore it's more likely to reach the family that this is meant for. All right, that's out of the way. Let's get on in here, folks. I have a gentleman coming through. I'm laughing because, you know, Scorpios are known for our intrigue and our mystery. And I kind of feel like this is that kind of message today. It's almost like I don't know, I'm harking back to a Murder, She Wrote, Angela Lansbury type of scene or show, and I know she just passed away. God bless her. I enjoyed her show so much when I was younger. Murder, She Wrote in particular was one of my faves. I love mysteries because, you know what, I'm a Scorpio. Anyway, so it's like this corporate industrial espionage kind of thing. Oh my goodness, it's just interesting story we've got here today. So, let me pull some cards while I'm talking and shuffle. Hang on, y'all. I'm sorry. It's a lot coming through at one time. So this man that I have, let me explain what he kind of looks like. He's very fit, muscular, but not in a Schwarzenegger kind of way, not overly so. Just very fit, muscular, fairly not uber tall, but you know, he's just a very fit, good looking man. And he's gosh, his age, boy, that's a tough one. Probably, I'm gonna say 40-ish, maybe a little bit older, but in that range, maybe 45. And he's saying, I had a checkered past, but he really turned his life around and he went in a very straight and narrow kind of way. So I don't know if that meant strictly in his youth or in his young adulthood. I don't know. He's not showing me the details of what that meant. Just that the viewer who recognizes the story may know what that means, or family. So that somehow is going to have a meaning to somebody, but he's just saying he had a checkered past. Wait one second, let me see. Excuse me. He's saying also there's something about maybe he was in the military at one time, or wanted to be in the military, or was in the military and got kicked out, or was in the military and I'm not sure what that story. So that may be part of that checkered past situation. If that relates to anybody out there, you will probably know the details of that. Okay, so he worked with metal, and I want to call him a metalsmith, but he was more than that. So, you know, to me, somebody, I'm going to put these down because I know they make noise when I hit this table with them. So he wasn't just a typical like welder. Certainly he could do that, but he was a higher level person that worked with metal. And I tried to figure this out when they were showing me this. It was like, I don't know what you're showing me here. I don't know what this is. So I stuck with it though. And it's like, okay, let's see if I can describe this. I have always wondered, for example, when a car manufacturer is trying to come up with a new model of car. So there's years that it takes to they create sketches, whoever these artists and engineers are that create the sketch, and then maybe they come up with a small model, a table size model, or a small model than a table size. I don't know what the process is. I truly do not. But there's, I'm sure, lots of planning and stages to the development of something like that. And then they have to come up with, maybe they do in today's technology, maybe they do like a 3D, what do you call that, a printer kind of model situation. And then from there they escalate to, well, now we're going to do a bigger model, and then they're going to do, so all these stages along the way. But then they get to the stage where they're going to make a full size, like for example, an automobile would maybe have, no, would have, not maybe, would have metal in it. Or in this stage, there has to be a specialty type person who can create, I don't know, maybe they make molds for these things. I really have no idea, y'all. I'm just sharing what they're giving me. But in this process, I'm seeing that there, somewhere in here, there has to be a person who is a specialist in doing, for example, molds, or a specialist in doing, forming that original model. And this man's piece in that apparently was the metal part of that process. Now he's showing me this whole, and I know y'all get tired of looking at my gnarly hands. Here, I'll pull some cards while I'm talking. So oh, they're saying the deck is ready. Okay, thank you. So he's going on about, I say going on, he's telling me the story about a piece. He's showing me, and this is relative because I just was putting something together, or me and my person were just putting something together, and it had these like bolts. As a bolt, you know, in this case the size of my finger, he was putting these washers and nuts on. And he's showing me that, okay, so you have a bolt, and then you put the washer, and then you screw the little nut on the end of it. So he's showing me this nut, but it was big. It wasn't like, you know, the size of your thumbnail kind of nut. It was bigger than that. It looked like that. It might not have been an actual nut, but it looked like that. And he's telling me this story that he keeps saying, it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. There's some kind of a situation where I get the feeling that somebody took his part out and put in a part that didn't work. Something like that. Again, this kind of has the feeling of a industrial espionage or some kind of stuff like that. And by the way, this could have, it certainly could have been automotive. It could also be something to do with a ship or an airplane or something big, you know, like in the, like a big part like that might be in the military. Maybe that's what that military connection was. Somehow he threw that in there, where it's a big, you know, kind of huge plane or a ship or a something. I don't know what it is, but something to do with metal. That's all I know. And let me see here what the cards are showing. Pardon me. I'll get into these in a second. There's also, so he feels like something happened. Don't know what this rest of the story is, but something happened where he was accused or he was blamed or, pardon me, this part that maybe failed in this test or something, but he's saying he didn't do it. That's all he keeps saying. It wasn't his. He didn't do it. So if you know what this story is, please put it in the comments, because I have, again, no clue. I'm also seeing, he's showing me an Asian, young, attractive, corporate type, because she's dressed in a suit, a very attractive Asian woman. So I don't know who she worked for or what her part was in this situation, but she's crying. So I don't know if she's crying because maybe she was somehow responsible. She's crying because she was somehow involved with this man. I wish I could see more about that, but I can't. And then there's a third person. There's another party off, like these two, or like if you see my gnarly hands, there's the man that's telling the story, there's this Asian woman, and then off here, kind of just outside of the view, is a third person. I feel like it's a male figure or a male energy. And I feel like that person, this third person, was kind of the, I want to say instigator or the handler. That's interesting that that word comes out, because I know in like, you know, CIA and those secret agencies and whatever, these spies have handlers. So y'all, this is way out of my expertise and out of my lane, because I don't know and don't know, you know, anything about all that. But somehow this person was involved or instigating or manipulating this situation. And that was, I think, the person that was behind this. And I get the sense that maybe he was, I get the sense that he was an Asian man. So again, this is such a incredibly specific story here. Lord knows, I don't know if this will ever get to anybody who relates to it. Who knows? But that's not why I do this. I'm not getting rich or famous over here, telling these narrow storylines. Okay, so let me see if there's anything else there. Yeah, I just keep hearing somebody substituted a part. That's what I keep hearing. This man is saying somebody substituted the part. It wasn't mine. I didn't make that part. Somebody substituted, and apparently it failed, or it was problematic, or somehow maybe it queered some big deal in the military conflict. I have no idea, but anyway, that's what I'm getting. Okay, y'all, it's crazy time over here in Scorpio 11. I don't know what to say. I get what I get. All right, y'all, let's look into these cards now. You know, sometimes, if you've watched my videos, sometimes these cards just are telling more of the story that this person is bringing through, and sometimes they're for the person who's living. So let me tune in here with this a second and see what this is telling me. Excuse me. So, play with your dog or whatever you're doing, sitting on your sofa while I tune in here to this energy. A moment of silence, please. Okay. So this is telling me a little bit more story. Well, hang on. Hang on here. Let me see, because oh, good Lord, y'all. This is like a darn James Bond movie here happening. No, I'm serious. I know y'all think I must do this for ratings or something. I swear I don't. I just bring through the messages as they come. This is just crazy. Wow. I know you hate that when readers do that. They just go ooh and ah and wow and interesting, and they say all these things. Well, then you're just sitting there, well, just tell me. Would you just tell me, please? I know I've done that in the past. All right, so here we go. Couple of different storylines. One is, there was a love story. And again, could be that Asian woman that I saw. Could have been that. Let me get into the energy a little deeper here. Again, I got to swim in it. So let me get into this energy a little bit before I speak. But I feel like there was, let me just say it this way. There was a love story. Two people fell in love. Okay. There was a lot of thinking by I think it was on the man's part. he was thinking, he was in his head, and this could have been, again, this could have been the man that came through to bring this message, the Metalsmith, I'll call him. I think he tried to break it off with her and just caused a lot of conflict. He knew in his head something wasn't right. I don't think he knew what. So maybe she was the pawn in this situation. But he actually had feelings for her. And so I think that was the rub, if you will. Y'all, excuse me. I'm sorry, I've just got a little bug in my throat there this morning. Can't get it up. Not literally a bug. Okay, so I think he really developed feelings for this woman, and he realized something wasn't right. Now again, you could flip this story. It could also be flipped. Maybe she was the pawn. She was using him, you know, like maybe a spy would use someone to get intel or whatever. And she fell in love with him, but didn't feel right about it, and realized that, you know, she felt guilt over it or whatever, and realized that. But there was love here of some kind. But somebody walked away. Somebody walked away here. And then, yeah, and I feel like there was money involved also. And then this guy feels to me, now y'all, if you don't know, if you haven't listened to me on these readings before, I don't read these cards literally like you would necessarily in a love reading. They talk to me differently because of the context of what kind of reading this is. So please don't look at these cards and say, oh, well, this means that. You're not interpreting that card right, okay? Just go with me here. It's my reading. Okay, so this guy feels like the handler, all right? This is this man over here in the distance. This is this guy who's, you know, kind of like the puppet master. He is, yeah, puppet master. That's a good word for it. And all of this, yeah, I'm getting there was a timing factor. There must have been some kind of a deadline with this. Maybe there was some kind of a, well, there's always a deadline with especially military projects. But there was some kind of, yeah, I'm just getting, there was a timing thing with this. There was a timing thing with this. Let's see, yeah, again. And it was dragging out, and this love, because this love situation, there was a choice. And apparently, I think that was the rub. It didn't go the way this handler had planned it to go, because maybe these two people fell in love. Y'all, this is going to make a good movie. Whoever Hollywood gets, I wonder who Hollywood's going to get to play these people. Oh, my Lord. Okay, yeah, because it was taking too long. It was just taking too long for this thing to work out. And I think it was because we're going back to I told you there's two scenarios where the woman backed out, or the woman got cold feet, or the woman walked away because of her love for this man. Or it could have...
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Oh, thank you, Siri.
My pleasure.
Y'all, my Siri voice is an Australian male. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Judge or not, but I like it. So, yeah, and somebody moved on. I got the feeling somebody ran like hell for the hills. That's what it feels like with this Chariot card. Yeah, somebody tried to run out of this situation, run away from this situation, get the hell out of Dodge. Wow. There was a lot of passion between these two people, but more than that, now this is this double meaning. He's telling me, yeah, there was a lot of passion, but it was more about passion about my work. Okay, thank you. That's real clarification. He's saying, he felt in this situation, he realized this is the second. Remember, I told you there were two storylines. One where she walks away, another one where he walked away from this situation. And he's saying the storyline where he walked away is that he was so passionate about his work. I told you that he had this checkered past, and that, but he turned all that around. He went straight and narrow, and he's saying he was so straight and narrow, and he was so dedicated to his craft, to his, he was so skilled and dedicated to what he did, because he's saying he knew it made a difference in the world. So maybe this was a military thing, I don't know. But anyway, that was a big part in his decision to walk away from this love affair, I think, because it was influencing his work. He was dedicated to his work. He was passionate about his work, and he said he realized it was pulling him in a different direction. It was swaying his work ethic, is what he's telling me. Yeah, and they're behind that, right behind that. Yeah, somebody walking away. That's exactly. Somebody walking away. So maybe this man, back to the lovers, maybe the choice he made, maybe this was his choice that he made because he was passionate and dedicated to his work, to walk away from this other situation. Yeah, and when he communicated that, yeah, it was like kind of an epiphany for him, I think, when he made the choice to do the right thing. Well, he didn't know it was the right thing. Let me be clear. He did not know all this other stuff was going on, but he knew something wasn't right. And he just said, I don't know what this is, but I need to get back on my path. I need to do the thing that is right for me. And that was the epiphany that he had, not knowing all this other under the surface stuff was going on. And he just wanted to get back to what he loved and his passion and his 10 of cups, right? But there was all this stuff that he couldn't see, he didn't know about. Okay, I don't want to go too deep into that deck because the messages get a little diluted. Wow, I hope this crazy espionage James Bond kind of story here relates to somebody out there. But the message is, he just wants to be sure that somebody knows, whoever this is meant for, knows. He's saying, I was innocent, it wasn't me, I didn't do it, I was true to my, he's saying, I was true to my craft, I was true and dedicated to my craft, my allegiance to the very end. That was, and he's not showing me how he passed, really. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Well, I don't know if this is relative to this story or it just happened late. I don't know the time frame of when he passed, because oftentimes they don't tell me that. They don't want you focusing on how they pass if it's not relative to the story. But I am seeing, it looks like he, oh God, y'all, this is the craziest reading. I'm seeing a big beam, a metal beam that fell on him. I don't know what the circumstances are. I mean, you'll have to figure that one out. I don't know if it was an earthquake. I don't know if it was, again, part of this espionage. I don't know. I don't have a clue. But something heavy and metal. And because the reason he's, I think, showing me that is, it's odd that someone would be passionate about metal. And now I don't mean odd in a judgmental way. I mean, it's just very unusual that somebody would be passionate about working with metal. I know I love, I'm an artist, so I paint, so I'm passionate about that. My brother was a woodworker and a master carpenter. He was passionate about wood. So I understand that kind of passion. It's just that aren't many people with metal. It's just more unique. But he's saying, but it had to be that way, of course, because that was his passion. He wouldn't have had it any other way had he crossed. I don't think he was ready. I don't think this was, obviously it was a surprise. Let's put it like that. This wasn't like a long, protracted illness. This was a sudden boom and I'm gone. but he's saying because it was like a metal beam, he said, of course it would be metal. That was so perfect, because of his love of working with metal. Gosh, y'all, that's just a whole big old thing there. Okay. All right, let me see if there's anything else, Spirit, you want to give me? These little cards? Let's see. This is getting kind of long here, but let's see. Anything else, Spirit? You're very welcome. He's just saying thank you to me. Y'all, I don't get names. I don't get typically, but I'm getting something that starts with a Q. Very unusual. I want to say that Quentin, something. I don't know. That's very unusual. I don't know. That would be a long shot if that was. I'll tell you if it's something coming through strong or not, and that's not particularly, but if it relates, then it relates. All right, anything else, Spirit? Come on. These people have lives to get on to. Let's see. Come on, maybe one more. I love this new little deck, y'all. This is a sweet little deck, but they don't like to jump, and I like jumpers, so it's just, I have to be patient. That's a good quality, right? Okay, that one. Thank you. All right. Nine of Wands. All right. So, well, I don't know this in Five of Swords. This is a message for the woman that was involved. So maybe that's who this message is ultimately for. If you see this, he's recognizing that you were the wounded warrior, that you were at the end of your game playing days, and it's almost like his way of forgiving you. That's what it feels like to me. The energy feels like, I forgive you. Like he's saying, I forgive you. I understand you were weary. You were doing what you had to do, what you thought you had to do. But, there's a lot of deception and ego and winning at all costs energy from this Five of Swords. And that this is just telling the story. Then the King of Wands, that this is about passionate forward movement, but I feel like it's more about this love story. There was a passionate King of Wands with this Empress, this woman that we talked about earlier. And he's just kind of reiterating that story, but there were secrets, because this woman held back. There were things below, beyond what he could see, below the surface. Yeah, that she, not only was he being manipulated, but she was being manipulated. Yeah, this Queen of Swords. That what you couldn't see that was behind the surface was that she was really this Queen of Swords. Instead of the Empress, she was really just the Queen of Swords. Yeah. And that this is his way, but he's recognizing, but there was love there. And he did at one point see a happily ever after with you, but there were all these secrets. He just felt there was something he couldn't put his finger on, but his intuition told him there was something not right here. There was, I want to say fears, but it's secrets. That's what I'm getting in the energy off of that card. And so he was afraid to commit. He just was, that the fear was committing to you, because he just knew there was something not right. Something not right. Anyway, it's his way of, again, he's just saying he forgives you, that he knows that you did what you had to do, that you were the weary warrior and you did what you thought you had to do, and he forgives you. But period. That's the end of that. And he's pulling his energy back now, so I will conclude this reading. If you stayed to the end, I appreciate you so very much. And if you know anything about this story, please feel free to write that in the comments. And I also love hearing where you people, where all of you viewers live in the world. I'm always interested in that, so write that in the comments. It is very interesting. And again, if you like this kind of content, please hit that like button and subscribe. I'll be doing more videos as I can. I appreciate you all so very much. I wish you many, many blessings. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.